Welcome to Inya Academy. In this first module, we're going to jump right into the most important part of learning any new language, introducing yourself. We're going to learn how to ask someone their name and, of course, how to tell them yours. You ready? Let's get started. Just imagine yourself right here, on a vibrant street, taking in all the new sights and sounds. You know, the key to unlocking this whole world, to actually connecting with people, it all starts with just one or two simple words, and we're going to learn them right now.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning. We're going to build up your confidence with some of the most common and useful words so you can start speaking immediately.
And here it is, the most universal greeting in all of Spanish. Say it with me, hola. Now, the one big thing to remember is that the H is totally silent, so it's not hola, it's just hola. It's friendly, it's simple, and you can use it pretty much anytime, anywhere. Go on, give it a try. Hola.
So, while hola is your perfect go-to word, you've got other options too. If it's the morning, you can say buenos días. If you're with friends, a really common and casual one is ¿qué tal?, which is basically like saying what's up. And of course, there's ¿cómo estás?, the classic informal way to ask how are you.
All right, you can say hello, that's a huge first step. Now it's time to actually share your name. And in Spanish, there's this one special verb that's kind of the magic key to every single introduction you're ever going to make.
Okay, so here's a really small but super important shift in thinking you need to make. The verb is llamarse. See, in English we say we have a name, but in Spanish it's more like you call yourself a name. It's what's called a reflexive verb, which just means the action of the verb reflects back on the person doing it. Simple as that.
So how does this actually work? Well, let's take a look at this table. If you're talking about yourself, you say yo me llamo. See that little word me? That's the myself part. If you're talking to a friend, you use tú te llamas. The te means yourself. And for someone else, it's él se llama or ella se llama. He calls himself or she calls herself.
Let's really zero in on that connection. You see the pattern, right? The subject yo, which means I, always gets paired with me. And the subject tú, which means you, always gets paired with de. Getting this little pattern down is the real secret to sounding natural.
Okay, so we've got our building blocks, we have our greetings, and we have our special verb llamarse. Now for the fun part. Let's start putting these pieces together and build your very first mini conversation in Spanish.
This is the question you've been waiting for. ¿Cómo te llamas? Literally, it means, how do you call yourself? But we all just know it as, what's your name? And see, there's our te llamas form, used when you're asking someone directly.
And the answer couldn't be simpler. Me llamo, and then you just pop your name in at the end. So for me, I'd say, me llamo Alex. Okay, your turn. I want you to say it out loud with your own name. Me llamo... Awesome.
But wait, a conversation doesn't just stop there, right? After you introduce yourselves, a perfect way to keep it going is to ask that simple phrase we learned a minute ago. ¿Qué tal? What's up? How's it going?
And here are 4 super easy ways you can answer. You could say bien, gracias, which is well, thanks. If you're having a great day, you can say muy bien, very well. If it's just an okay day, más o menos is perfect for so-so. And a really cool casual one is todo bien, which just means all good. Look at that. You are now ready for a full conversation.
Okay, so we've covered all the pieces. Now it's time to put your new knowledge to the test. No pressure at all. This is just a couple of quick questions to make sure everything's clicking.
All right, here's the first one. How would you fill in this blank? You're asking a friend for their name. I'll give you 3 seconds to think. And the answer is, ¿Cómo te llamas? Hola, ¿cómo te llamas? Why? Because you're asking to, so you need the verb form llamas.
Okay, next up, look at the clue in the sentence, me llamo. Which subject fits with that? You've got 3 seconds. It has to be yo. Yo me llamo Ana, because me llamo means I call myself, so it always goes with yo, or I. You got this.
And just like that, you've done it. You've completed the very first and honestly the most important step on your Spanish journey. You've literally gone from 0 to being able to start a conversation. Seriously, congratulations. Let's just pause and think about what you can do right now. You have the tools to say hello in a few different ways, to ask for someone's name, to give your own, and even to ask how they're doing. That is a massive step forward.
Always remember this. Every adventure, every friendship, every journey into a new culture starts with that one simple greeting. What you learned today? Well, that's the key that unlocks the door. So what's next? Well, to really get this to stick in your brain, your next move should be to listen to the Module 1 audio lesson. You'll get to hear everything we just talked about used in a real, natural dialogue. It is the perfect way to lock in your new skills.
And I'll just leave you with this one last thought. Now that you have this new skill, who is the first person you want to connect with? Picture them. Imagine walking up confidently and saying, Hola, mi amo. Thanks so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you in the next module.